Hi, you've clicked on to today's tropical tidbit for Sunday. Just a short update over here on Hurricane Thomas in the Eastern Caribbean over here. Probably not even a hurricane anymore. If we look and zoom in on this, there are some things happening today to the storm that were missed yesterday that are weakening this. Instead of keeping it at slow organization, this is actually weakening it and being a little more detrimental than was previously thought. You can see the center of the circulation here is actually almost running out of convection to keep over it over here. We may see a slightly exposed center later today. You can see that what convection is left is to the northeast of the center right now. The pressure is up over 995 millibars, and this has weakened significantly from yesterday. Notice why, and I know we want to say shear because look at where the storm is weighted towards the northeast over here, but this is not the biggest deal. The shear was actually caused by something else. You want to know what's wrong? Check out these winds over here. Racing off to the east. Notice the wind coming out of the storm is from the east across the Caribbean, and notice how fast this is. If you look at the bigger picture here, remember we had Sherry going out to the northeast, and behind it came all this dry, cool air, and we'll look over at the water vapor so you can see that. Here's the dry air over here coming down behind the trough, and remember this indicates sinking air subsidence, which raises the pressures in here. So we had high pressure building over the southwest Atlantic, and remember I was showing you yesterday how this looks similar to the Danielle Earl situation. The difference here is that the high pressure is building biggest over here offset to the west of where the hurricane is in longitude, and what this is doing is this is increasing the pressure gradient between high pressure to the north and low pressure to the south, because we do have abnormally low pressures in the Caribbean over here. So this is creating strong trade winds coming out of the east. And since the focus of the pressure gradient is strongest just to the west of the hurricane, that means air is speeding up as it comes west in the hurricane's path. And what does this mean? If you look at this, if the air is coming out faster this way, that means you're spreading the air out, you're getting surface divergence, which causes air to sink in front of the storm, and you're seeing the western half get torn up. And you can see over here the winds in the Caribbean. This was back on the 29th of October. You had winds down at 10 knots, nice breezy. Look at how they've gone up over 22 to 24 knots now today in the Caribbean, and this is ripping the hurricane apart right now. But it's not going to remain that way forever. Look over here. See the popcorn convection going off. Notice how the flow comes in here. This is where this slows down. You can see where air starts converging and piling up, and you start to see the popcorn convection over here. And once this gets farther west, you're going to see as the trough comes down to pick this up, the high pressure is going to get focused back over here, and as the hurricane passes the center point of the high pressure and gets into this area, the air is going to start piling up. You're going to get convergence and lowering pressures in here again, and you're going to see this thing try to come back. Now, for the wind shear deal over here, the wind shear is not really that bad, and honestly this is caused, remember, wind shear is caused by upper winds aloft, right? So if we look at the upper winds here, you can see here's the nice big ridge, and we notice, you know, where did this little low come from? This little upper low tucked thing of turning winds over here wasn't there yesterday, and the reason it's there is because there's more of a cold pocket aloft. Remember, ridging in the upper levels at 200 millibars indicates warm air relative to the surrounding environment, which causes high pressure and winds to curve anticyclonically away from the area. If you cool the air aloft, you start to get converging winds and low pressure in the upper levels, and the reason this is because if you drag all the surface winds out, you start causing sinking air, which causes the low pressure and cooler temps aloft, and you get a disruption of the upper ridge. You focus it more to the east where the convergence is, and you get wind shear, or the appearance of wind shear, on the storm. So in reality, the wind shear here was actually caused by conditions at the surface due to the pressure gradient from the high pressure to the north, and this will be a detrimental effect to the storm for the next day or so. I want to show you the GFDL because I like the way it deals with this. Notice the intensity, Cat 2, solid, the initial here. Watch as we go out to, let's go back over here. So we start this out at Cat 2, we go out to 24 hours out here, and notice the pressure, 1001 millibars. This really weakens over here. You can see it's still in the Eastern Caribbean, but watch what happens as we go out. It stays weak for a little bit. We go out to 60 hours, 72 hours. Notice how it starts to get its act a little back together over here. Now it's south of Hispaniola. And as we go out to days 4 and 5, watch what starts happening over here. And the GFDL ends up having a Cat 2 hurricane approaching Haiti over here in 5 days. And I think this is still the likely scenario, is that if this can hold together over here, and it may lose a lot of convection tonight, it may look very poor tomorrow, but if this can hang on and get farther west, you're going to see this try to crank in this area because the pattern still favors that. The conditions I've been speaking of haven't just gone away, and this is still a situation that Hispaniola, Eastern Cuba, and Jamaica need to watch very closely, because this can happen where this winds up in this area, the trough comes to get it, you pick it up, bring it northeast, and this is something that is going to cause problems if this survives and tries to strengthen again. We'll see if it becomes a major hurricane. It's getting knocked down a lot more than I thought it was going to in this area, but as this comes back in here, I think it could easily make it to a Cat 2, possibly a Cat 3, trying to impact this area as it comes and phases northward into the trough. So this is something people are going to have to watch very closely, and hopefully folks are getting prepared. As we all know, Hispaniola is one of the worst places you can ever hit with a hurricane, so hopefully we will avoid those people. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.